Welcome to part 2 of the transporter conversion. So, part 2. In part 1 you saw me cutting the hole for the roof and fitting the roof. Now, I've got the tent down, the tent is fixed. I'll show you inside how that's fixed in a moment. The next job is to put sealant all the way around the tent base to stop any water from seeping underneath and soaking the inside. So here inside you get a good impression. You can see how the tent material is fixed down. This is an aluminium bar with screws through it. And the tent material literally goes underneath, you pull it tight and put the screws through. That makes it sound really easy. The tent material is actually quite tight from front to back and side to side. It needs to be, stop it from flapping around. So getting these in the right place can be a bit tricky. I always start with the rear bar, and with these Drivelodge roofs, they're really good because they're actually shaped to cover this profile perfectly. So I always start with the rear one, make sure it's central at the perfect distance back and it's not skew width, fix it down in the middle, pull the tent tight and go along to the outside. Then you've got your starting point. Just show you while we're here that on the last video you saw where the solar panel fits. I've already fitted a 120 watt solar panel, which is a flat panel with the junction box underneath. And that's all you can see at the back. There's this cable coming along down and it's going to end up going down through there. Couldn't see that, could you? It's going to end up going down through here and around to the charge controller, but that's in a later video. Once the back one is fixed down, put the sides on again, making sure that it's equal distance all the way along, and it's not they're not doing this or that. It's got to be nice and straight. Put one fixing in at the back on each side, right at where it meets the rear piece, because you know that's a fixed point and we can play with it from there on forwards. Get one fixing halfway up when we're happy with it, and then you can offer up the front piece and make sure that it all fits basically and it's all square. And once you're happy with that, you can start fixing it down and pulling the tent material tight as you do so. Now that's done, like I said, now it's time to seal around the outside. So let's get that done. It's quite easy to seal the roof. I'm just using some clear stick saw. One of the tricks to do when sealing around the roof tent is to just put some tension into the roof tent so it lifts any slack away from the van. So you're sealing just where you need to, and as that drops down, it will help the sealing to just sit in there. So that's it sealed up at the back. I'll just continue around doing the rest of it. While we're up here, you can see how slim that solar panel is. Without having to have any wires coming out of the top, it's barely noticeable from the ground. If you zoom in just here, you'll probably see that just here, you can't see any adhesive or sealant where I fitted it. That's because I've left a small air gap. You have to leave an air gap with these because obviously they get really hot in the sun, they're black. So any air that's trapped in there will expand and eventually it can actually force these off if you don't leave a small air gap. And yeah, water can get in there, but when the roof is elevated, it's just going to come back out or indeed evaporate when it gets hot. It can't actually get inside the van because where the junction box is around here is completely sealed. Also, it's sealed around the sides and the top and up to about there on each side at the back. So it's only that little bit there that's left for an air gap. One of the things that needs to be done is to put the interior back together and start to want to carpet it. So we've got to put the cab headlining back in. Now this has got a piece cut out of it. So you have to offer it back into place, mark it out, and now I'm just going to cut it out. So use a nice sharp new Stanley blade, cut along the lines. This top is actually like a fiberglass. So it wants to be a good sharp blade. Underneath is fabric, so don't go all the way through because it's better to use a nice sharp pair of scissors just to finish that. You won't see the very edges because the Drivelodge trim goes over it, but that's fine. What I love about taking vans apart is this bit here, this sticker, full of information. I actually don't know what it is, but the car nerd in me loves it because things like, I know that this bit was built on the 10th of April 2014 at 6:42 and 52 seconds in the evening. Someone was working all through the night, I would guess, in this factory, because if they're at 6:42, they're probably going 24 hours a day. That's probably rubbish, I don't know, but I mean, not 9 till 5, is it? Right, now that's cut out, it's ready to go back into the van. This piece of trim, which is neat, tidies up this bit area above the cab. It can be a bit tight to fit though, so we don't break it. I do break them when I fit them. This will break. Yeah, it broke. Doesn't matter that it broke because it's going to get screwed in anyway, and then carpet trim is going to start from right at the edge of the tent, come over and around and get tucked up on the tiny little gap between the head lining and the bottom of this. Next, before I put up the trim which covers this, I want to thread some cables through. There's going to be a light switch over at the top of the B-pillar there to operate the lights that are actually built into the roof. So you'll see there are 2 lights in the roof, and the switch for those is going to be by the B-pillar, on the top of the B-pillar actually. The reason it's there is because if you're in the bed, actually up in the roof, you can reach over and turn them on and off yourself.
The long way home.
I've been places by chance, never intended to go. And so ended my youth. I once depended on proof, now I'm in the flow. There are things I know beyond, know what seeds grow. I'll lift ya off the earth, mundane and glum, out the solar system, way past the sun, till my kingdom come.
trim on this side too in the same way. Before I do that, I've got to extend this solar panel cable so it can go along and down to where the battery goes. And I've just seen the time and I've got to go on the school run. So that is a job for tomorrow. Right, next day, back on it. And it's a Wednesday, so I've got clean pants on. Great. Right, let's get these cables extended. The final closing in panel to fit is the rear one. That's going to cover these cables that I've tied up here. See just there, I've put an earthing point in, so that's earthing the lights in the roof. I've also put this cable in. This is going to power lights that are going to be in the actual recessed into the bed. They're going to be fitted later, you'll see me doing those later. So for now, I've just brought this cable out and its earth to allow that to be done. Also, because the bed has a panel here which is going to be fixed down and hinged from about here, the customer wants some speakers in the back and there's already got speaker wire in, so I've brought that out here too. So the next job is to fit that closing panel.
Meanwhile, while I was doing all of this, the lightweight furniture board was delivered to me and I had to get it over to the CNC Routing company in Falmouth. So I better load the car up and get it over there.
That's the ply all loaded up, ready to take over to Fibrefusion in Falmouth. So let's get over there. Probably should have washed the car first. Some of you are probably watching this and going, hang on a minute, he's a camper converter, supposed to be a camper van guy, so where's your camper van? Yeah, I do have a camper van, but this is my daily car. It's my old Volvo. I love my old Volvo. Our camper van's a Fiat Ducato, long wheelbase, and I will do a video and show you around it because it's a bit of a different sort of setup. It's got bunk beds at the back, it's got a rock and roll bed further forward, but that's not the point of why I'm not daily driving it around Cornwall. The reason I'm not daily driving it around Cornwall is that Fiat Ducatos tend to be quite wide and their mirrors are big. Ask anyone who's daily driven a fitted Ducato around the Cornish lanes and they'll tell you you soon end up smashing mirrors. That's not a judgment on my driving. I'm a good driver, but you do end up smashing mirrors. I think I'm a good driver. My wife might argue with that, but I think I'm a good driver. Well, you make your own mind. See, I didn't crash once. Right, now we're at Fibrefusion. Going to get the wood off, leave it with them, get back to the workshop. Let's do it.
See just a quick view of the leisure battery sitting underneath the passenger seat. Sits quite nicely under the swivel that's just been fitted. You can see the blue charge controller there for the solar panel. These wires are what's left over from the cabling that was underneath there before. Remember there was a subwoofer under there, so powered up the subwoofer from, it was originally powered. I've just put a cable going along underneath, so it's kept the original fuse. And I've just put these here because they're easy access, because they're fuses. Don't really want to be putting those under the carpet where we can't get to them. And then for the power system I've added, there's a fuse box down there. You can see some red lights glowing because there's a circuit there but no fuse in. And the large fuse to the side is for the split charge. Okay, so here it is. Roof is on, insulation done, wiring done, sides on, carpeted, floor down. Leisure battery is now in under the driver's seat, under the passenger seat, sorry, and the passenger seat is back on. The units that are just out of shot there, you can't see them. They're back from Fibrefusion, and it's time to start prepping those and putting them together, ready to go in. But that is for the next video. See you then.